Hey y'all, it's Anime K-Man, and today I am going to be reviewing episode 10 of Utau. And this episode was actually pretty darn fine. Now, let me just get the only blemish that this episode has out of the way before I mention the positives. Now, the only downside about this episode was there was a sequence where Mitsuki was overtaken by Shoujo. She was possessed, and she wanted to get the time travel device, which now we know its name, which is the reflector device. She wanted to take it away from Takia, and then for a moment she was resisting the hypnosis, and I was like, alright, it's all cool. But then, while she was fighting the possession away, you see fucking Takia just stand there, and I'm thinking, God damn, Takia, just run or some shit. And then, but no, it just stays there for like 10 or 20 seconds. And then right when she starts aiming the shots, you see Takia run away. And then I'm like, this motherfucker. And then he just runs in a straight line. And you just see Mitsuki like shoot the shots and he misses. And it just felt like Takia, he escaped because the plot said so. And I don't mean that in an endearing way. Because normally in some of the previous instances in this show, when Takia gets out of a situation, he gets out of the situation through smarts or intelligence, but it didn't feel like that in that specific instance of this episode. Because this time it felt like because the script said so and because of plot armor, the shots didn't go towards his body and all that, because he is the lucky protagonist in this specific instance. And that really didn't sit well with me at all. And I was like, And I'm sure that's not an issue in the visual novels, since in visual novels, since time isn't flowing in real time like it is in animes, I'm pretty sure it's not an issue with the source material. So that was either the writers that fucked it up for this episode or the director of this specific episode. One of those two fucked that shit up. So that was the only fumble in this specific episode. And you know, if you're gonna have that, at the very least have the motherfucker run in zigzag formation, because at least there, it's hard to aim for someone that's running that way. But aside from that, everything else from the story standpoint, this episode was good, because that was the only bunch. Because we find a lot of plot relevant information. We find out who's the glasses chick in the opening, which is Ingawa, and she had all this information in a notebook, and she was actually the one that gave the name to the device that Takia uses, which is the reflector device. So that was nice that we find out that specific information. So now I can call it something that isn't just the time travel device. So that was plot relevant. And two, it kind of raises the skill, because when you see Ngawa's body there, it makes you think, oh shit, Takia better haul out or Mio could potentially be dead. So I like that too. It was a great way of increasing tension subtly. And aside from that, I also like how this episode shows off realistically Yuki's rat-like personality, because you see him easily scared. And then parts ways in, he goes inside of a fucking trap due to him rushing fucking everything, and he fucking falls and dies. And I'm like, I ain't so surprised. And I was actually celebrating that. Of course, Takia, I like how in that sequence it shows you his maturity, because even though he had a fucking rat a friend who fucking betrayed him, at the very least it shows you that he's not the type to hold grudges, and he instantly pressed the reflector device to go back in time so that Yuki wouldn't die, and he made this time Yuki wait outside, and he pretty much had Mitsuki go with him. So I like these kind of angles in the episode. It was a great way of showing off the personalities of the other characters, and in addition to that, it also did well of showing off Mio's maturity too, parts ways in, which I'm going to save that talk for when I talk about the character portion. And then I had a nice cliffhanger where you see Takia's mother near the end, which is probably a ghost at this point, or maybe it could actually be her mother in the flesh. I have no fucking idea, but I'm pumped up to find out. So this episode also had an engaging ending, and it gave us the payoff towards those sequences where you have Mitsuki have headaches. Because parts way in, she's completely possessed by Shoujo for a bit, and that scene would not have had an impact if it didn't show the previous episodes where she had headaches. And additionally, it wouldn't have had as much impact if it didn't show the sequence where you see Shoujo walking by where you saw Mitsuki having headaches. So good job on that. We finally get the payoff on that, and it felt pretty good, so that when it introduced conflict in the episode, it didn't feel like it was conflict for the sake of it. No, the writing staff of the previous episodes, they worked towards this, and I gotta fucking congratulate them, because that's what made the episode good. Now on to the character portion about this episode. I actually loved it. Seeing Mitsuki fight off the hypnosis from Shoujo, or the Naniba, was actually good, because for one, and that also had emotional impact, because in the previous episodes it was established that she had sex with Takia, and she confides in Takia with a lot of things too. So that was all some pretty nice shit there, because it would make sense why she would be able to resist it, because the previous experiences she had with him, so she wouldn't want to harm him. It isn't just a typical student-teacher relationship. It's much more than that, as we saw in the previous ones. So that was good. That's why I love that sequence. I just didn't love how the writing staff executed it, though. They could have literally fixed this plot hole by having her have a headache, then Takia fucking run away, and then you could have heard the gunshot noises. That would have been a much smarter way of writing it. But I digress. From the character standpoint, it did well. And I also like how it showed off Mio's maturity, too. When she says that she actually knew it was Yuki that did it after she had a conversation with Yuki after seeing the papers on the bulletin board. Which puts into context why she kissed the photo that had herself and Takia in it, because, well, she already found that at that point. So that puts into context also some of the previous scenes in the previous episodes, and I like that. It makes for more impact in this week's episode. And then when she asked for Takia to give her a kiss and all that kind of jazz, I actually love that sequence, because for one, it was a good way of showing off Takia's maturity, because Takia, while he's the guy that thinks about sex and stuff all the time, I like how in that sequence it shows off that when it's really serious, he's not going to take advantage of a woman that's emotionally distressed. Because he could have easily taken advantage of Mio emotionally to, alright, get the kiss probably mouth to mouth. And who knows, maybe he could have even taken advantage to have some sex with Mio in that instance. And that might have not, and that probably would have been taking advantage of the situation emotionally of Mio. And like how Takia's like, at the most he just kisses Mio's cheek and that's it. And I like that. It shows you that he's a man that's matured, and he knows that this isn't a situation to have that kind of shit, to have the lip-to-lip kind of kiss. And I like that. Makes Takia a much more likable protagonist. So I also thought it did pretty well for his character too. And in addition to all that, it shows his merciful nature, because when Yuki was dying in the first half, and before he used his reflector device, you see him distressed when you see Yuki get impaled. And I like that too. It shows you that he's a man that isn't full of wrath and all that kind of jazz. And I found that to be really, really sweet. So all in all, just makes Takia into a much more cooler protagonist, I gotta say. So they did that really well. And that's why I thought it really did well from the character standpoint. As for the animation, thought I got the job done. And I gotta give credit, when they were walking, the way Mio's hair was like moving was pretty realistic looking. So I gotta give credit to the animation staff. They did a nice job. Art was pretty well too. There weren't sequences where I thought, oh man, this shit is off model. There's a dirt face. So I gotta give credit too for the animators for making sure that the art looked pretty pristine. And that's how I'm gonna rate this episode overall. A 7 out of 10. I thought it was good, and I thought this episode was still above average. It's just that the thing I mentioned where Taki didn't run away when Mitsuki was finding the hypnosis, I thought that was kind of dumb with the writing staff to not pay attention to that. And that's why this episode didn't get an 8 out of 10, because if it would have just done that, it would have been an 8. But I gotta drop it to a 7 out of 10, because I hate it when anime does that kind of shit. But overall, though, I liked what I saw, and that cliffhanger at the end, oh my goodness, makes me want to come back for more. So anyways, guys, this these are my thoughts on, episode 10. Comment on your thoughts on the episode in the comment section below. Rate the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later if you subscribe for more, because I'm definitely pumped up for more. Alright, thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.